Recapped here. Today I'm going to show you a British romantic comedy drama called About Time. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Tim Lake grows up in Cornwall, in a house by the sea with his father James, mother Mary, absent-minded uncle Desmond, and free-spirited sister Catherine, or Kit Kat. Tim is awkward, slightly gangly, and considers his family odd but loving. The Lake family resides in harmony at their house by the sea. Every year they host a New Year's Eve party with family and friends. At this party, Tim navigates through the crowd feeling awkward and out of place. He is dragged around by his friend Jay. During the New Year countdown, a girl named Polly that he's been dancing with leans in for a kiss, but Tim misinterprets the situation and shakes her hand instead, leaving her disappointed. Tim wakes up the next morning overwhelmed with embarrassment and a terrible hangover. He is called into his father's office, and his father then tells Tim that he is about to share a secret with him that he's never shared with anyone. At the age of 21, Tim learns from his father that the men of his family have the secret ability to travel back in time to moments where they have lived before. To time travel, they must be in a dark space, clench their fists, and visualize the memory they wish to travel back to. Unsurprisingly, Tim thinks that this is a joke. He shakes his head at his father, thinking that he is just messing with him. To prove that it isn't true, Tim goes inside a dark closet and thinks of New Year's Eve last night. After a few seconds, he comes out of the closet to find himself dressed in his clothes from last night. Music, laughter, and loud voices could be heard from downstairs. He heads down and is immediately pulled by Jay, evading a table he previously knocked over last night. This time, he kisses Polly, who reacts giggling. After that, Tim goes back into the closet and comes back to the present. Realizing that time travel is real, he listens to his father's experience about the ability, discovering that this was how his father seemingly had a lot of time for them. James discourages his son from using his gift to acquire money or fame, and Tim decides he will use it to improve his love life. The following summer, Kit Kat's boyfriend's cousin, Charlotte, visits. Tim is instantly smitten. He takes his time and applies the sunscreen expertly over Charlotte's back. During the summer, Yim tries to impress Charlotte, but fails every time until eventually it is her last day in the house. Tim decides to confess his feeling to Charlotte, but before he can, he shuts him down and tells him Kit Kat already warned her that he might do this. She tells him that he should have told her earlier. Maybe things would have been different. Tim travels back in time to tell Charlotte in the middle of the holiday, but she says it would be better to wait until her last day. Heartbroken, Tim realizes she is uninterested in him and that he never really had a chance with Charlotte, and that time travel cannot change anyone's mind. Tim finally gives up on pursuing her. The day after Charlotte's departure, Tim moves to London to pursue a career as a lawyer, living with his father's acquaintance Harry, an angry, misanthropic playwright. In the first few months, Tim hasn't had any luck in finding romance as his career makes it hard to meet females. Tim visits a Dans le Noir restaurant, a restaurant where guests dine in total darkness. Here he meets Mary and her friend Joanna. They flirt in the darkness, have a good time. Tim and Jay finally see the girls in the light. There's an immediate attraction between the two as they lay eyes on each other. Tim is stunned to see Mary, and afterwards she gives him her number before parting ways. Tim returns home happily but finds a distraught Harry, whose opening night of his new play has been ruined by an actor forgetting his lines. Tim goes back in time to put things right, but then another actor messes up this time. Tim goes back in time again and helps out. The play is a triumph. However, later, when Tim tries to call Mary, he discovers that by going back in time to help Harry, the evening with Mary never occurred. Feeling distraught, Tim joins an ecstatic Harry for breakfast the next day. Harry shares the newspaper where Tim finds an ad for a Kate Moss exhibition in the city. He recalls Mary's obsession with Kate Moss, and through sheer persistence, finds Mary a week later at a Kate Moss exhibition. Unfortunately, their interaction this time doesn't go as smoothly, and he discovers that she now has a boyfriend named Rupert. Tim finds out when and where they met, at a party. He learns the details about the party and goes back in time. He turns up early before the potential boyfriend arrives and persuades Mary to leave with him instead. Mary is a little hesitant, but feels an unusual attraction towards him. She goes with her guts and leaves with him. On their way out to the party, they unknowingly walk past Rupert. The two have a lovely dinner where they get to know more about each other and their relationship blossoms. Tim ends up walking Mary home and she invites him up to her apartment. The night proceeds into the bedroom, and after Tim awkwardly trips over Mary's clothes and finds it difficult to unclip her bra, they experience an awkward sexual encounter, and Tim goes back in time to fix it. This time Tim does better, but he still believes he can do better. Wanting to give Mary the best night of her life, he goes back in time multiple times to do so, and after multiple attempts, the couple spends the first perfect night of passion. Their relationship develops and blooms, and Tim eventually moves in with Mary. One night at the theater with a coworker named Roy, he encounters Charlotte, who now seems interested in him. Charlotte invites him to dinner, where she mentions her regret about turning him down in the past. After dinner, Charlotte asks him to walk her, tempts him to go inside with her, but Tim turns her down, realizing that he is in love with Mary. He proposes to her, and she says yes. That summer, Tim takes Mary home to meet his parents. Mary gets along great with his parents and spends a lot of time with Tim's mother. Tim and his dad also spend quality time together. Kit Kat is also back home after spending a terrible time in London and seems sad to Tim. During dinner, Tim and Mary decide to announce their engagement and also announce the news of Mary's pregnancy. The whole family is ecstatic with joy. Their wedding ceremony is filled with joy and laughter, even though it rained heavily during the reception. Months later, Mary gives birth to their daughter and they name her Posy. They move into a new house and soon it's Posy's first birthday. All the guests arrive except for Kit Kat, who is late to the party. Kit Kat's difficulties in life and her drinking lead her to crash her car on Posy's first birthday. As Kit Kat recovers, Tim decides to intervene in her life and prevents the crash and takes Kit Kat back in time to avert her accident. This doesn't solve the problem though, as Kit Kat still has a drinking problem and is still in an unhappy relationship with Jimmy. Tim talks to his sister, hoping to reach out to her. When this doesn't work, he takes her back to the New Year's Eve party where she met Jimmy. However, instead of flirting with Kimmy, she releases her pent-up anger on him and punches him instead, despite him not remembering her in his timeline. They manage to return to the present, where Tim finds Posy has never been born and he has a son instead. James explains that they cannot change events prior to their children's birth and ensure that the exact child will still be conceived. Tim accepts that he cannot change his sister's life by changing her past. He allows the crash to occur, ensuring Posy's birth, and he and Mary help Kit Kat face her problems to improve her own life. Their support makes Kit Kat decide to live her life better. She settles down with Tim's friend Jay, and it works out better than she could ever imagined. She and Jay have a child of their own. Tim and Mary have another child 2 years later, a baby boy. One evening, Tim helps Mary prepare to meet her company's best-selling author, but they leave Posy downstairs, where she destroys the manuscripts from Mary's office. Tim tries to use time travel to avert the situation, but their night is interrupted by a call. Tim learns his father has terminal cancer that time travel cannot change. If he goes back in time far enough for any treatment to be effective, he will lose Tim and Kit Kat in the process, something he is unwilling to do. His father has known for some time, but kept traveling back in time to effectively extend his life and spend more time with his family. He tells Tim to live each day twice to be truly happy. First, with all the everyday tensions and worries, but the second time noticing how sweet the world can be. Tim follows this advice. His father dies, but Tim travels to the past to visit whenever he misses him. Mary tells Tim she wants a third child. He is reluctant because it means he will not be able to go back to visit his father again. Tim tells his father that he can't anymore, and together they travel back to relive a fond memory from Tim's early childhood. Mary gives birth to a baby girl, and Tim knows he can never see his father again. Tim comes to realize that it is better to live each day once, deciding from that point on to not time travel at all, and comes to appreciate life with his family as he is living it for the second time.